All right, we're joined this morning by Coach Bret Bielema from the University of Illinois. We were just showing you the crazy good play of the week from this week. Tanner Arkin's fake punt against Michigan as part of that win. And yeah, it's a treat to have Coach here to talk about the play and kind of take us through what's been going on at Illinois and what's still to come. Coach, glad to have you here this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on, Sam. Yeah, we're excited. Obviously, Saturday was a really special day here in Illinois football history, celebrating 100 years since the opening of our stadium, and that's why we went with the old throwback uniforms. And obviously, this play has drawn a lot of attention, and I think it's pretty cool. I saw it on the field live, but then that night when I saw it on a replay on TV, the old school uniforms and Tanner running, it really truly looks like a throwback type moment. And to see that play unfold, that's a play you probably would have saw back in 1924. Kind of an unusual play, but yeah, super excited about the execution and ultimately the result.
First of all, you mentioned the uniforms. They looked incredible. It looked like a wonderful celebration you guys had on Saturday. And it certainly was the right attire for that play. Now, I'm curious. Obviously, a tremendous play. It was a great call, great execution, huge moment, and a big win. How do you, as a coach, know the right time to pull the trigger on a call like that?
Yeah, this is my 16th year as a head coach, and one of the things I've kind of evolved and came to is, those moments, those little gadget plays, trick play, a surprise play in the outside world's view. Those have been something that's been very thought out, detailed, planned. You're waiting for the opportunistic moment. We saw the way they aligned to us in that formation in the first half. So at halftime, because we now have video by NCAA rules, you were able to see, look, and analyze what was there. And we talked about with our kids, like, hey, if this moment comes in this situation, we're going to call it. And ultimately, it was a great execution, not only by Tanner, who caught the ball, but we had TJ McMillan, who's our PP. So he's kind of the quarterback of a punt team, if you will. Now he's also, 6'3", 300 pounds. So he's the biggest quarterback we have. But it was just really kind of a great moment for a kid to capitalize on a special opportunity.
Now, I feel like one of my favorite elements of the play was Hugh Robinson faking the high snap and that element of the play as well. There's so many little pieces that have to come together for something like that, right? What gives you the confidence to know that your unit is going to get the job done when you call kind of an atypical play?
You know what, Sam? Our guys are really a very coachable crew through thick and thin, good and bad. They really listen to us. They take things in. I would tell you, Hugh, he's an Australian 32-year-old punter, right? He actually was a cop in Australia for a couple of years, so he's kind of got a unique journey to get to here. But I've seen him run that fake look, I don't know how many times from practice till the execution. And it's funny because a lot of times the first time people saw that in practice, they literally thought the ball went over Hugh's head, right? And there were several people, I'm sure, that thought it during the game. So, yeah, really good execution by Hugh and a lot of details that come out more than just in that moment.
So you're looking ahead, or I guess I should say first, looking back, it's your third win over a top 25 program this year. That's not nothing. Only Tennessee is the only other program in the country with three top 25 wins this year. What have you been seeing from your squad in terms of rising to the occasion this season?
Well, we'll actually play Saturday against Oregon, and we'll have 5 ranked opponents in the first 7 games, right? So our guys have been dialing it up and getting after it. I think our guys are just very dedicated to their tasks. They're really detailed in their preparation. I have a group of coaches and staff that I'm very proud of the way they handle everything. So it's kind of just, give me the schedule and let us play, right? We know Oregon's on the docket this week. We got 4 more games after that. So we're just kind of the outside world talks about us being a 6-1 football team, but for us, we try to go 1-0 every week, right? So our preparation, our daily details are kind of focused on the moment we're in, and that leads us to the opportunity at the end of the week. And each week it kind of changes.
Yeah, your sports info staff does an amazing job putting together notes each week, and I was pulling out a few notes about the Oregon matchup this weekend. It's the first time Illinois will face a number one team other than Ohio State since 1972, which is interesting. First travel west of the Rockies since 2019 for Illinois. First travel out west since 2014 for Illinois in a regular season game. Although you have played at Autzen Stadium, or Illinois has played at Autzen Stadium before. You know, when you look at kind of the new look Big Ten and some of these matchups that you're getting to enjoy now, are you preparing any differently for getting a team ready for a 2:30 kickoff on the West Coast than you might in previous seasons?
Yeah, Sam. So before I became the head coach here, I was in the NFL for a few years, and one of the things that we did as a common practice there, if you're traveling west over 2 time zones, you actually win a day earlier in your preparation. So we're actually going out on Thursday instead of Friday. which we normally use as Friday as our travel day. So that's a little bit different, but we do preach to our guys about living their routine, right? No matter what you're doing, how you're doing it. This is just an adjustment to your routine. So instead of being at home on Thursday night, we're going to be in a hotel, but that hotel has been like every other hotel we've had. Our Friday will be the exact same. Oregon's field is going to be the same exact dimensions of every field that we played, right? Obviously, their stadium is very rich in tradition and history, and they're very accomplished in it. So we got some things we got to do differently, but we try to make it as normal as we can, as often as we can.
You mentioned the tradition at Oregon. I know they've won 12 consecutive home games there. They traditionally play pretty well, and it's a unique atmosphere for sure. But certainly Illinois knows something about going on the road and beating a number one team, and having done it against Ohio State in 2007. There's some history there. What's it going to take for your team to walk away with a win on Saturday?
I think the execution is always important, right? Like we've been fortunate enough in 6 of our 7 games to play very, very well, but in those games itself, right, there's been good moments and bad, right? So I think you got to capitalize on the good moments. If you have a moment that isn't in your favor, try to rise out of that moment as quickly as you can. Others got to pull yourself up, but Oregon's a great football team. They're ranked number 1 in the country for a reason. They're very, very good football team with a lot of good players, and they're very well coached. So we're excited about the opportunity.
Well, Coach, we're certainly looking forward to watching the game. We also appreciate you joining us today. Great play on Tanner's part, on the whole special teams unit's part, and we're glad to be able to celebrate a little with you guys before you look ahead to your next opponent. So thank you for the time. Great luck again this weekend, and we will look forward to seeing you down the road, Coach.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. ILL.